and this encroachment could have been removed then itself, but it was not.
Dr. Malini Ranganathan, when you hear the political class of the country, and these are two national parties, BJP and the Congress, which have ruled the state of Karnataka for the majority of the time, do you think that a country like India, where major cities are facing the reality of climate change, poor urban and civic planning, do you think that they can find policy solutions? And more importantly, in the spirit of constructive communication, what are the solutions that lie in the way? What is it that a city like Bengaluru can do?
Thank you very much for having me, Anusha. Yes. So, I've been studying the causes of flood risk in Bangalore for the past 15 years, based on careful archival research, requesting RTIs around developments, interviewing stormwater drain engineers, interviewing activists who have been bringing to light wetland grabs. And I want to start by saying that this is a very debilitating conversation where the party in power, BJP, is blaming Congress, and there's a mudslinging going on. It's not helping anyone. In fact, all political parties and members of governments have been responsible for the selling away of Bangalore's natural resources, its wetlands, its keres, its Rajakaluves, to private real estate interests. And we just have to accept and sit with that fact and then move on from there. I have studied what I call a kind of politics of organized encroachment, right? It's not just that Bangalore is unplanned and that's the problem. It's a very systematic way in which cadastral revenue survey maps are manipulated, in which developers will cover the Rajakaluves and existing culverts.
Dr. Ranganathan, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you, but I'm only interrupting you because I have very little time, but I want you to elaborate on this. You've been researching. I think the broad genesis of the problem, which is about corruption, wetland, and the eco-sensitive areas being taken away by the real estate developers, that has been spoken about in the public domain. And that's not just the story of Bengaluru, it is the story of Gurugram as well, where the Aravalis work hard, sand mining happened, and that's why you have the city flooded at every, in every monsoon season this year. But I'm asking from the perspective of Bengaluru, what can we do now? There's encroachment, the government is not responsible. Let's believe there's a policy or a task force which is being set up. Can we actually go and break each and every construction work that has happened? What is the way forward?
Okay. Yes, so I'd like to outline 3 points here. The first is absolute short-term relief measures, which especially have to go to the poor and laboring classes who have been displaced from slums in Munekolal and other areas in Belanduru. Right, there's a need of an hour as far as compensation of health care, nutritional needs of children. So that's a short-term need. I think in the short and medium terms, there's a need to bring to light the kind of real estate processes that go on, both sanctioned by the law and judges, often who are paid off, as well as that happen, extra legally. So this needs to be an approach where we reveal and expose what are the real estate processes in Bengaluru that have led to this increasing flood risk, right? In the long term, we need a much more coordinated housing policy, right? Especially as far as groups that have been shut out of these planned layouts, not got access to that. There needs to be much more coordination between different housing authorities in Bangalore, right? And so, of course, it's easier said than done, but I think we have to have a short-term, medium-term, and long-term plan for addressing this. And there are disaster needs that need to be addressed right away, but there are also, I always talk to to students and interested citizens that we have to not just look at the proximate causality, that is drain widening, desilting, all that, but the ultimate causation.
And Dr. Ranganathan, I appreciate you making all of those constructive points, because that's the root of the problem that needs to be addressed. And I hope that our political class, Mr. Vijay Prasad, Dr. Kavita Reddy, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Dr. Ranganathan, I also appreciate your time on the show. Don't get lost. And that's what I would say as a journalist and as a citizen, that don't get lost in the political mudslinging